Mumbai terror attacks has already begun to be grilled in India after his landmark extradition from the United States. This move marks a critical step in the long-awaited pursuit of justice for the victims of 26/11 attacks. Rana, a Pakistani-born Canadian national, landed in New Delhi last evening under tight security. He was immediately taken into custody by the NIA. The extradition follows a prolonged legal battle in the US, culminating in the dismissal of Rana's review plea by the US Supreme Court. In fact, the US Department of Justice has emphasized the importance of this extradition, calling it, quote, a critical step towards seeking justice. Rana's arrival in India is seen as a major diplomatic victory and a testament to the strong resolve of the Indian government. Rana is accused, remember, of providing support to David Coleman Headley, who conducted recce missions for the 26/11 attacks. This extradition is a significant milestone in India's ongoing efforts to bring all perpetrators of the 26/11 attacks to justice. As the legal proceedings unfold, the nation watches closely. Opposition has sought fit to make caustic and depreciating remarks on the feat. From questioning NDA's role in the success to playing down the importance of his extradition itself, a slew of statements have brought to question the partisan view on the fight against terror. Remember, the Mumbai terror attacks and the aftermath itself is mired in deep politics in Indian history, one of the most shameful that comes to mind. So have we really not learned anything from our past mistakes? First up, take a look at the role Rana played in 26/11 planning. On November 13, 2008, Tahawwur Rana arrived in the national capital, posing as an immigration consultant. He visited Meerut, Ghaziabad, Agra and Kochi before heading to Mumbai. In fact, one of the major reasons why NIA sought prolonged custody was because it suspects that a Mumbai-type model was devised, and NIA officials therefore want to take Tahawwur Rana to different cities to recreate the scene from 17 years ago. Rana visited multiple locations, surveyed prime locations. He left India on November 21st, 5 days before the attacks were mounted. Furthermore, Tahawwur Rana not only facilitated David Headley's travel to India, but also provided logistical support and institutional cover during his Mumbai visit. He received surveillance videos and details of Lashkar's 26/11 plan from his childhood friend. And Rana was also aware about the role Abdur Rahman played in the attack. But this is not all. What really turned heads is in absolute anger were the calls that were intercepted by Indian officials. Top NIA sources revealed that Rana called Headley shortly after the 26/11 terror attacks and said that Indians deserved it. This is the kind of man we're bringing back to face Indian justice today. If this wasn't enough, he praised the 9 terrorists who were killed in the 26/11 terror attacks and demanded Pakistan's highest award, Nishan-e-Haider, for the Lashkar barbarians. Even if it took 17 years, the mastermind of this mayhem has been dragged back. He's facing law in India. We've accessed details of how Tahawwur Rana is being currently held under NIA's watch. He's been kept, we are told, in a 10 by 10 feet cell with no window or fan. There's an attached washroom, but he isn't allowed to shut the door. There's non-stop human and technical surveillance on him. He's been provided with a mattress to sleep on the floor. And the food that he's eating is being served from the NIA canteen itself. Interrogation room, where he is being interrogated with multiple questions, is also under CCTV surveillance. Indian officials are leaving no stone unturned to serve the punishment that Tahawwur Rana so rightly deserves. It's a moment where India should have come together, especially as a message against terror. But opposition has managed to cast aspersions here again. Listen in.
थोड़ा ना कम से कम ना लोगों के अंदर ना आंख में ना लाज शर्म होना चाहिए। मुद्दा दिन भर भटकाते रहना, कभी इधर कभी उधर, कभी पक्ष वोट तो कभी कुछ। एक चीज, एक डिलीवरी बताइए जो एनडीए सरकार ने किया हो, जिस पे जो है उसको लगातार इस देश के लोगों ने वोट दिया। क्या महंगाई कम हो गई है? आसमान छू रही है महंगाई।
राणा जो है उसको उसके ऊपर मुकदमा चलाकर उसको फांसी पर लटकाने के लिए यहाँ लाया है या सिर्फ क्रेडिट लेने के लिए लाया है? हमें पूरा भरोसा है ये राजनीति कर रहे हैं और बिहार चुनाव से पहले राणा को फांसी पर लटका देगी और पूरे देश में डंका पिटाएंगे, देखो राणा को हमने फांसी दी।
पता नहीं राणा को लेके आ रहे हैं कि कैसे है, कब लेकर आएंगे, क्या है। अच्छी बात अगर लेके आए हैं, हमने तो कहा कि राणा को तो ला सकते हो, लेकिन जो पंजाब वाले हैं, पंजाब में ये सारा गैंगस्टर या गैंगवार, इनको क्यों नहीं लाया जा रहा है? इनको क्यों सुरक्षित अपने प्रदेशों में रखा गया है? इनको क्यों सुविधाएं अपने प्रदेशों की जेलों में मिल रही हैं? इनके लिए ऐसे गहरे क्यों कानून बनाए गए हैं कि इनको कोई अब प्रोडक्शन वारंट पर लेकर ही नहीं जा सकती और कोई स्टेट ये हमारे पास सुरक्षित रहेंगे? ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? अच्छी बात है राणा को बुलाओ, लेकिन दूसरों को क्यों नहीं बुला रहे हो?
Goodies here, but why is it so necessary to talk about everything else when we're discussing Tahawwur Rana and him being brought back to India? This is a seminal moment for a lot of Indians who suffered and who watched in horror during 26/11 attacks. So the question we're asking today is simply this: is opposition losing a trick by trying to trivialize this feat? That's coming up.
छब्बीस 11 के मुंबई के आतंकवादी घटना के दोषियों को निर्दोष करार करने की हिम्मत शिकागो कोर्ट करे। इन्वेस्टिगेशन किसने किया? जहां घटना घटी उनका रोल क्या रहा? यहां के पीड़ित लोग हैं, उनको न्याय कौन दिलाएगा?
इनके जो मतलब लिंक्स थे आईएसआई के साथ, इनके पाकिस्तान स्टेट के जो लिंक्स थे वो तो हमें पता है, पर सबूत नहीं कर सकते हैं अभी तक। एविडेंस तो चाहिए हमें, और भारत में इनके जो नेटवर्क्स हैं वो हमें ज़रूर ये इंटरोगेशन में पता करना चाहिए।
Maximum information extraction, that should be our motto. Leave alone punishments or so that part is not, revenge or punishment is not our main issue. That's what I feel.
जो बेसिक जो कार्य है वो कांग्रेस सरकार ने किया था, यूपीए सरकार ने किया था, तब वो आज आ पाए।
Let's go across to our guest joining us, Rohan Gupta from the BJP, Pooja Tripathi of the Congress Party joining us, CS Shah, Sena UBT, and also Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow ORF with us. Pooja, why don't I begin with you? Because several Congress leaders from the likes of Kanhaiya Kumar to the likes of Pramod Tiwari have really brought unneeded attention on the Congress Party and what it feels about how important this moment is for India. Why can't the entire country, including the Congress Party, that keeps reminding us of its freedom fighting credentials, just join the country in celebrating this?
Good evening to all. Shivani, I don't think opposition is trivializing the fact. They are joining the country, and I want to put on record straight here as a spokesperson for the National Party. Tahawwur Rana wanted Nishane Haider of Pakistan for the LAT terrorists that has unleashed terror. He's brought back the whole country. It's an ode to Tukaram Homle ji, ode to Shahid Hemant Karkare ji, and the 140 Indians that lost their lives. And he should be given Nishan Hindustan, and he should be hanged till death. And there should be no petty politics or no over-godism when it comes to, terror attacks that happen in the country.
What is over-godism? What is over-godism? Are you trying to point to something that the BJP is doing?
No, I am trying to say that this is a cumulative, this is a decade and a half long of, painstaking diplomatic, legal and institutional effort. It was not as if, the way they are celebrating, it's not a matter of grandstanding and chest thumping. This had begun in 2009. The Congress Party has put out an official timeline of the events, lauding the government that they have brought it. But it should not be forgotten that it was 2009 when NIA filed a charge sheet. And it
of course, the NIA filed a charge sheet. Of course, after 2008, they were going to file a charge sheet. Even if they didn't do even that, of course, we would be in the pits. The question is, the extradition request formally went under Narendra Modi government. What is so difficult to accept that?
I'm sorry, the 3-member NIA team went under the MLAT Act, and let's face it, the U.S India extradition treaty was signed under IK Gujral. And when U.S. government transferred the crucial evidence, which became the part of NIA's, the whole 1,000-page charge sheet, and this was when special NIA court issued non-bailable warrants in 2012, External Affairs Minister, Mr. Salman Khurshid, with our envoy, Ranjan Mathai, they went to US on this demand, and they pressed US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for extradition. and which was, it was these institutional efforts that have already set in motion. In 2015, Headley appeared approver, and in 2019, it was told that Rana would complete his correction, that is, U.S. court has sentenced him, and then in 2020, Biden approved the extradition.
Okay, so if that is the thing, if the premise is that the Congress party did as much, if not more, than the BJP-led Narendra Modi government in the last 11 years, then why are Congress leaders themselves running down this feet? Have you seen Kanhaiya Kumar's response when he was asked about Tahawwur Rana's extradition?
Kanhaiya Kumar was addressing a press conference on Palayan Roko Naukri Do Yatra. He was expecting the press to ask questions on the migration that's been happening, the lack of jobs that is happening.
He could have just simply said, I'm here for a different issue. Please ask me only questions related to this issue. All politicians do that when they don't want to take any other issues. Have you seen his reaction? Have you seen the disgust with which he has spoken about the fact that a perpetrator of 2611 was brought back to India? The man didn't have even one single sentence to say on Tahawwur Rana.
But we put out, the Congress party's official communication department has put out a 2-pager, detailing the events from 2009 to 2025. I think that's the official statement of Congress party, rather than all the leaders that you're saying.
So are you saying, from Pramod Tiwari, who says NDA didn't do anything, we did everything, to Kanhaiya Kumar, to your alliance partner who says that they'll hang him before Bihar elections and then, try to garner votes in his name, is all of this okay? This is not trivializing.
The alliance partner spokesperson is here on the panel. He'll be able to answer that. I just want you to tell that Congress party lost the efforts of both UPA, and it's not just grandstanding. It's an ode to Tukaram Tomble, it's an ode to Hemant Karkare, it's an ode to 114, and it's an ode to millions of Indians who had.
Maybe remind Kanhaiya Kumar about this, right? We all feel the same, and I trust you feel the same. But certainly some faces in your party will run down everything, will not have the basic grace and decency to even utter one line in support of justice for 2611. On Maoist and internal terror and red terror, they have different tunes to sing. On Islamic terror, they have different tunes to sing, but we are supposed to believe that they are standing with this country when it comes to our fight against terror.
We are standing with this country. You please read our official statement that has been put out by the communication department. That's the official line the Congress takes, and that
official line of the Congress party is pretty clear. Shaina NC is joining us from the Shinde Sena, or of course a member of the BJP-led alliance. Shaina NC.
I think the fact that Rana has been extradited is a matter of pride for all of us Mumbaikars and for the whole country at large, because we do know that the endeavors of the Honorable Prime Minister and the government of the day, right from 2019, if you see the coercive action taken by the Indian government, the constant dialogue at the national level, international level, the Ministry of External Affairs, and the fact that Rana has been we've nailed the coffin, so to say, because the ISI stands exposed, the Pakistan insulating all these terrorists and terror activities stands exposed, the role of David Headley, the role of Major Iqbal. And I'm glad that the political will that was required has been shown by the NDA. And
your opponent, Sanjay Raut of the UBT, says that this is just a bid to gain political mileage, that somehow Tahawwur Rana will be hanged ahead of Bihar elections. And then the NDA will go, street to street to want more votes in that name.
Look at the statement of Mr. Prithviraj Chauhan and Mr. Sanjay Raut, who seem to have lost their mental balance. Mr. Sanjay Raut wakes up every morning and comes up with these kind of sensational comments because he has thrown the ideology of Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarnya Balasaheb Thackeray into the dustbin. But with that, he has completely succumbed and sold himself to vote bank politics. So I don't want to comment on that. But if you even look at the statement of Mr. Prithviraj Chauhan, on the one hand, we have all been echoing the sentiment that Tahawwur Rana should be hung to death. And there they talk about giving him all kind of legal recourse. Do you forget all the police personnel who lost lives, the people who sacrificed themselves for the larger good, and you have chosen only to play vote bank politics? So please, let's understand
Okay, vote bank politics. Who's playing vote bank politics? It's shocking that almost 17 years after 26/11 and everything that was done in a bid to politicize and communalize that entire attack on India, we are again seeing a situation where somehow political parties and politicians feel their votes are in danger depending on what they say for a terrorist like Tahawwur Rana and what they say for someone like him being brought to justice. It's shocking. Sushant Sareen, I want to come to you before I go to CS Jha. I thought we had moved on from this. I thought political parties had graduated from this. This is 2025 we are talking about.
Yeah, we all have graduated from it.
CS Jha, I'm just coming to you. I'm just coming to you, sir. Yes, Sushant Sareen.
Clearly, we haven't moved on from it, and it is quite clear that many of the opposition political parties think if indeed they are doing this for vote bank politics, then is it because they think that a certain community, and I'll take names, the Muslim community, will be incensed because a terrorist like Tahawwur Rana, who's not even an Indian, who comes from Pakistan and from Canada, even a man who is responsible for over 160 deaths in Mumbai, if he is extradited to India and he is prosecuted and punishment is served on him, the Muslim community in India will be incensed and will turn away from these parties. Is that the vote bank politics they are talking about? And if it is not that, then what is their objection? What are people like Mr. Raut? What are people like the person from Punjab who you were showing in your report earlier, or that fellow Kanhaiya Kumar who was living on government subsidies forever? What about these guys? What are they cribbing about? What are they so sorry about?
Maybe the pain point is that Narendra Modi Sarkar will get some credit out of this. Maybe.
Yeah, but look, if when voting happens in election, it does not only happen on any one issue. This is not going to be an issue on which an election is going to be won or lost. An election is won or lost on 500 other things, right? This is an important issue. This is a national issue. I think as a national issue, all political parties, all political forces should be on a common page on this particular issue. In fact, everyone should take credit. So why shouldn't the Congress party, if they claim that they were actually right in the beginning, they were asking for extradition, they should say, yes, fine, we are very happy that we started the process and this government completed it. Then why those carping sounds coming from Congress or its allies? It shows a certain mindset, which I think is an extremely unfortunate mindset in a country which is having to fight against the menace of terrorism for the last 4 decades, even longer. And yet a party which claims that it brought independence, was in the forefront of the independence movement, a party which was at one point of time the party of natural governance in India, a party which claimed to have nationalistic credentials, is now seen, at least that's the perception, to be standing with terrorists.
Well, there is a whole debate. There is a whole debate that happened in Parliament just recently in the context of the Waqf debate, where several examples were cited and Congress leaders were very incensed about it, but about how their own leaders have done such great injustice to their own party by linking itself to terrorists. But I want to give Pooja an opportunity to respond, and CS Jha will come in.
This is a very outrageous comment. A Muslim in India is as much as an Indian like you and me. And saying that we are appeasing to the Muslim community that they'll be agitated by Tahawwur Rana, somebody, a terrorist. Tahawwur Rana is a terrorist. I opened it saying that he should be given a Nishan-e-Hindustan and he should be hanged till death. And every Muslim should, find solace in that. And saying that Congress and other opposition parties are, keeping our vote bank politics, thinking that Muslims will support Tahawwur Rana.
There's a history to this. Pooja, I'll tell you, unfortunately, there's a history to this. Ishrat Jahan, Batla encounter. There is a history to this. The whole bogey of saffron terror on the basis of 26/11. What Digvijay Singh said about RSS Sarges for 26/11. There's a history.
Of an Indian Muslim, they're as much as an Indian like you and me, and they've stayed back here and they will die here in this mitti, and they will not, favor any.
Nobody is disagreeing with you, Pooja. The question is then why the politics that comes and sings? Why the politics that tries to give clean chit to Islamic terror in India? For 40 years there was Islamic terror in Jammu and Kashmir. Who spoke about it? Who spoke about it? We all sat quietly. All the leadership sat quietly for 40 years when there was Islamic terror in Kashmir. Till today, the Congress party wants 370 back. What are you talking about?
Let me speak, then I'll speak. Now, if you let me speak, then I'll speak. You're talking about the politics that's happening. When 26/11 was happened, Chief Minister Narendra Modi did a press conference from the site of 26/11 saying that, Manmohan Singh government has failed the country. From the site of 26/11, people were dying inside and he was happily doing. This was the same Pragya Thakur. Nobody in the BJP raised an eyebrow on Pragya Thakur, who said ki mere shraap se Hemant Karkare mare. The Shaheed Hemant Karkare, who laid down his life in fighting terrorists in 26/11. Nobody, BJP.
She had also accused him of torture in custody. Let's not forget that.
But unke shraap se mare, Pragya Thakur ke shraap se mare, and nobody denied, nobody said a word, nobody raised an eyebrow on Pragya Thakur. She was happily sharing a parliamentary seat with Mr. Narendra Modi and the whole cabinet itself.
So why is the Congress party doing this then? Why do you do this? Today the comments that I have played, they are not from 2008. The comments that I have played today, Pooja, are not from 2008. What was the need to bring this heat on your own party? Shaina NC is back with us, but CS Jha has not spoken. CS Jha, my question to you is this. Sanjay Raut says Tahawwur Rana would be hanged before Bihar elections and then vote will be asked in his name. What's wrong in that? If the government managed to give justice to 26/11 survivors and victims and their families and goes to the public and says, see, this is what we brought to justice, what's wrong with that? These are the good issues on which votes should be cast. If the BJP or the Modi government goes to public and says in the last 11 years there's been no major terror attack in India and home security has increased, what is wrong with that?
See, first of all, we should congratulate everyone who is involved in this extradition issue, particularly all the diplomats, the lawyers who have been engaged, the agencies which are working. We should congratulate them all. And this person should be hanged. And everybody who has been surviving the terrorist attack from 26/11 and those who have died should get justice from this. And we are not talking about anything, the politicizing of this issue, but eventually BJP has a habit of taking the credit of all these happenings surrounding themselves.
But what is wrong with that? Tell me something. CS Jha, I'm asking you a question of a very basic premise. A party is in power or a government is in power. Under that government, you achieve certain successes, of course for the country, but you achieve it under their term. We have 5-year terms so that you take your report card to the public and then get elected or not get elected. What is wrong if Tahawwur Rana is brought back, if his legal process is expedited, if he is hung or whatever punishment is given to him and the government wants to say, yes, we brought him to justice. What is wrong with that? Why should any citizen of this country not vote on this issue is my question.
See, voting on the issue and politicizing are two different aspects. If you want to see the nation clearly says that any terrorist who is brought to the country should be penalized, he should be hanged, he should be thrown into the ocean. These are the concerns of the nation. And if you want to politicize and take vote on it, that is a politicizing of the total...
What is the... Okay, all right. What is the politicizing on Tahawwur Rana that has happened so far, in your view?
See, politicizing, if you say that if the BJP people says that we are the people who have brought him, is totally incorrect. The process began in 2008-9. And if you see the total structure which has happened in 2020, he was released from the jail. And after that, the extradition process was again filed by this Indian government. So if you see these kind of discrepancies will come up. So we don't want to talk about this.
Can you quote a particular statement that you're talking about? Mr. Jha, can you quote a particular statement of any BJP leader or any alliance leader that you're talking about?
See, the BJP wants to take credit and it is very clear. If they are not making any statement, even the Amit Shah had made certain statements about this last 6 to 7 months back. And eventually everybody wants to take credit, but this is not a politicizing event. It's an event for the nation and the nation should be given justice. Yeah. The persons who are involved in this.
Okay, so I hope your advice stands for all sides. Then it also stands for Sanjay Raut, it also stands for Pramod Tiwari, it also stands for Amrinder Singh and others.
Yes, should be.
For everybody.
For everybody. Shaina NC, yes, Shaina NC, we lost you in between.
You know, I mean, I don't think anyone's looking for brownie points, but obviously, if such a serious terrorist who is a mastermind of probably the most horrific terror attacks we have ever faced comes back, obviously people will unequivocally, or rather should unequivocally speak. And in Rana's case, don't forget, it wasn't just him. The cahoots with David Headley, Major Iqbal, all the others, the ISI. So the NIA has come up with foolproof evidence. Now when you have these loudmouths, all these political loudmouths who are talking about, oh, he should have a free and fair trial, and that, oh, we are the ones who initiated it. When has the NDA or the Honorable Prime Minister or the for that matter, even Mr. Doval or the Home Minister said that we are the only people who have been instrumental? The facts are the sequence of events, because the opposition is trying to trivialize this. So it is imperative to say that, you know, the negotiation started at a high level with the Ministry of External Affairs, the diplomatic ties that we've nurtured under Modi ji's leadership. I think that's something to be proud of. And if they feel extradition is not a big achievement, let me please ask them, when was India as safe as it is? It is only under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and the entire, I'd like to applaud NIA, I'd like to applaud Ajit Doval, I'd like to applaud our Honorable Home Minister as well, because we have presented an extradition request to the US, followed it up diligently, and the arrest of Rana was approved by the courts in the United States. And I think that this is when India should unequivocally speak about this entire case, because it is a landmark judgment, a landmark case. And yes, he must be hung to death. It's not just public sentiment. It is the need of the hour to have fear of law and to show that India is as serious as it is. So I think this is not about shocking anyone. It's about just doing what is right and correct for us.
What I find, Sushant Sir, and I want you to comment on this as well, because you're not connected to a party. I find it very interesting, or rather very curious, that Sanjay Raut should say that, oh, they're going to hang him before Bihar elections and get some mileage out of it. I don't understand what is so wrong about that. Punishing a terrorist and then going to the public, see, we did this. What else is the government supposed to go and tell the public? If not, something like this, it's going to be one of the five.
So don't take it so seriously.
It's going to be one of the 500 other issues the party will talk about. But why should a political party shy away from going to the public and say, look, we're trying to make India safer. This affects your life, my life. We all know what the condition of our cities used to be prior to 2014. Why shouldn't the current government or dispensation be allowed to take credit of it?
So, Shivani, a couple of things. One, I think Sanjay Raut is a troll. So I don't take him seriously anyways, right? He makes the most outrageous comments virtually on a daily basis, and I don't think anybody should really take him seriously. He just tries to stay in the news by making these kind of ridiculous comments. But, let's discuss what he said. Now, somebody should have asked him, is it okay if we hang Tahawwur Rana after the elections, after the Bihar elections? Because then you will say that some other election is coming and now you are going to hang him because some other election is coming.
Tamil Nadu election is coming.
Or Mr. Sanjay Raut should simply agree with the government's position of one nation, one election. Right? He doesn't even agree to that. Maybe if we have one nation, one election, then we can hang people after an election is over. So this is how ridiculous the guy is. But I think on a more substantive note, he is prejudging what the punishment will be meted out to this guy. I don't think any of us sitting in this particular show can prejudge how the court the rule, whether they're going to give him death sentence, life sentence, whatever. That's up to the courts, and that's according to the evidence that will be produced before them. Third, look, whichever government is going to be in office at whatever point of time will get some credit. So, for example, when the 1971 war happened,
Indira Gandhi gets the credit for it.
The Indian Army, but you give credit to the political leadership of the day, which is Mrs. Gandhi, who's a stalwart Congress leader. You say that yes, she took charge, she took the decision. Yes, all credit to her at the political level. Of course, the army, the armed forces fought the war. But without political direction, it would not have been possible. So it's her credit. So every time a government takes a certain step, that government gets the credit.
No, so there is a line of thought here. Kanhaiya Kumar says you're diverting from real issues. If you talk about Tahawwur Rana, Sanjay Raut is basically
Kumar and his ilk want to throw this country into a caste warfare. They want to destroy everything that has been built up because they are interested in some kind of a caste warfare in this country, some kind of a communal conflagration. They support all wrong causes simply because, remember where Kanhaiya Kumar comes from. He comes from the left, thinking, the leftist thinking. Have the leftists ever said anything which is in national interest? Have the leftists ever done anything which is in national interest? I am telling you, a talisman of this country is listen to what the communists say, what the communists recommend, do the opposite of it, and this country will be a success. So,
no, but there is a subliminal message. Diverting from real issues, they're going to try and get mileage out of this. What is the big deal? What about so and so? I think the attempt here is, because there is a fear psychosis that the BJP could get some political mileage out of this. This is a subliminal message to the public, Pooja, since I have you back, that, oh, these are not real issues. So who cares if Tahawwur Rana has been brought back? There is this poverty in India. Why not talk about this? Why not talk about that? The messaging is, please, don't vote on these issues. But my question is, why not? Safety of life and limb is most essential for the public of our country, and they will remember what used to exist and what exists now.
So when you say, why not vote in Bihar elections on this issue? These are the issues which pertain to national security. These are not a party-specific issues. These are not a governance-specific issue, as is unemployment or inflation is. So, when you say that why not wait, you are actually going to trivialize the issue and overjack every other issue. When you want to go ahead and ask on the votes on the basis of Tahawwur Rana, you should go and ask on the basis on the votes on the by DSP Ravinder Singh, who brought 300 kilo RDX that led to the assassination of 40.
Why not do it? Why not? In the general elections, that was raised.
Taken.
It was raised during the general elections. Why not?
So that was when you make a hue and cry. I am saying something as he has been brought back to India after 17 years, and this is a culmination of mature, strategic, and decade and a half long of political, diplomatic, intellectual, legal process.
Okay. We're losing your audio. I appreciate you saying this. I appreciate you saying this, and of course that is what all sentiment, everybody's sentiment should be. Then why these stray voices that always seek to get in and kind of hijack that narrative, even to the detriment of your own party? I have to leave it at that. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. On the other side of a very short break, down south, big updates as far as the BJP and the AIADMK are concerned. They've sealed their alliance yet again, putting all end to all speculation. So the big political shake-up, what does that mean for the politics of Tamil Nadu? That's coming up next.
Co-powered by Sena. The United States is still imposing tariffs on China, and China is firmly opposed to such bullying. China will absolutely not accept pressure, threats and blackmail. That is not the right way to deal with China. If the US side really wants to talk, it should show an attitude of equality, respect and reciprocity. If the United States ignores the interests of the two countries and the international community and insists on fighting a tariff war and a trade war, China will certainly accompany it to the end.
We've seen the global markets going through quite a seesaw over Trump's tariff policies, and in particular policies or uncertainty in policies in relation to China. And now again, at a cabinet meeting at the White House on Thursday, we saw clearly contradictory statements emerge on China, hardly likely to be calming for the markets or bring clarity on what the US policy is. Trump, on the one hand, said a deal with China can be worked out.
and I'm sure that we'll be able to get along very well. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time, and I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries.
And within minutes, he was saying this.
What they've done to our country, they've destroyed our economic base to a large extent. The good news is we're very vibrant, and we're going to get it back fast. We already have. Look, we're making $2 billion a day now.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio put it more sharply.
One of the most important things I believe you'll achieve in your presidency is reordering the world in a proper way. For 31 years, more than 31 years now, multiple administrations have allowed the Chinese to deindustrialize this country, to take away jobs and factories and pillars of our national strength. And what you're doing now, I think, is a great service to our country, but ultimately to the world.
Trump insisted that the US is on a good track in negotiations with several other countries, but he did acknowledge that it may not all be smooth going.
We think we're in very good shape. We think we're doing very well. Again, there'll be a transition cost and transition problems, but in the end, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
The United States is still imposing tariffs on China, and China is firmly opposed to such bullying. China will absolutely not accept pressure, threats and blackmail. That is not the right way to deal with China. If the US side really wants to talk, it should show an attitude of equality, respect and reciprocity. If the United States ignores the interests of the two countries and the international community and insists on fighting a tariff war and a trade war, China will certainly accompany it to the end.
With only a few months to go for the 2026 elections, BJP has sealed the deal with AIADMK in Tamil Nadu, putting an end to months of speculation. In Chennai, Union Home Minister Amit Shah made the mega announcement just a short while ago. E. Palanisamy will be leading the NDA in the state. The BJP and AIADMK have once again united. It will be a battle to watch out for. But can the issues that caused a rift in the first place be overlooked? Opposing views on UCC and the fears of a poaching war, it's been a topsy-turvy journey up until now. So, will it be a smooth sailing ride this time? Only time will tell. BJP also announced its new state president and three-time MLA from Tirunelveli, Nainar Nagendran. As a prominent member of the influential Tahawwur community, Nagendran brings caste diversity to the BJP leadership, balancing the Gaunda dominance in the party's alliance with AIADMK. Mind you, Annamalai, the outgoing BJP state president, and AIADMK's top leader, E. Palanisamy, come from the same powerful community, dominant in western Tamil Nadu, and also from the same region, Western Congo. Nagendran's past as an AIADMK minister from 2001 to 2006 also gives him a strong understanding of AIADMK's culture and sensitivities, making him ideal to mend ties and strengthen the alliance. Nagendran commands respect amongst minority communities in the region, which has helped him secure the 2021 assembly elections as well. Unlike Annamalai's aggressive approach, Nagendran's low profile and more collaborative style is seen as a better fit for coalition politics in Tamil Nadu. Remember, Annamalai's outbursts against top AIADMK leaders, including late J. Jayalalitha in 2023, led the AIADMK to move a resolution against him and ultimately withdraw from the alliance. But why does this alliance with the AIADMK matter so much for the BJP that they were even willing to sacrifice their big face Annamalai? Now, here's what the historical numbers say. During the 1998 Lok Sabha elections, when the BJP was in alliance with AIADMK, the BJP managed to win 3 of the 5 seats it fought on. AIADMK got hold of 18 out of 22. Although, in 2019, the BJP failed to make a dent and AIADMK also managed to retain just 1. Here's what happened when the two were not contesting together. In 2004, BJP and AIADMK both failed to make inroads. But in 2014, the AIADMK won 37 out of 39 seats. The BJP managed to hold just one. So AIADMK can still hold its own in Tamil Nadu without the BJP, but the latter cannot quite do so. The guard has changed. Former allies have reconciled. What will this mean for the BJP? Can they actually crack the Tamil Nadu court? That debate is coming up. Let's go across to our guest joining us. With me in the studio is our political editor Aman Sharma, Kalyan Raman of the BJP joining us, Kovai Satyan of the AIADMK, Salim Dharanidharan from the DMK is also with us. We are hoping to be joined by Suman C. Raman, political analyst as well. Let me just quickly begin with the Salim Dharanidharan. He's smiling already. You're very happy to be on the show today, Salim. Good news for you?
Good news for the elections also. So we've been always saying that BJP and ADMK are just the same. It's been Amit Shah DMK since 2017. And in fact, I will use the words of my friend Kovai Satyan's own party senior leader and a senior minister, Jayakumar, who said it's only because of the BJP alliance that I had to lose in his constituency where he has been a king for 25 years. This is exactly that he said in Tamil in a few months back. So we know that for all the anti-state rights which BJP has indulged in, and I don't know why ADMK has fallen into the trap, but I don't know if their party decision, who am I to comment? But irrespective
so
of
you are saying this is going to be a negative. You are saying this is going to be a negative for the AIADMK, not a 1+1 effect.
See, anyway, the AIADMK comes from DMK, so they are like our brother. I mean, they are like our younger brothers who went against us. So, anyways, I feel sorry that such a party has completely lost its track. But having also said that, whoever forms alliance, whatever alliance they form, I am sure the DMK is going to come to power because the vote share in most of the elections, if you look from 2019, has been more than 50%. Winning margin has been 2 lakh, 3 lakh, even in the recently concluded parliament election, and the prime minister himself winning only with 1.3 lakh vote share. So I don't think, even if the last time an alliance had been formed, they would have.
So you're not worried at all, Salim? You're not worried at all because
absolutely not. I think
together the BJP and the AIADMK today in the 1 second. Today, in the press conference today as well, maybe it was a sign of things to come. They're going to harp about the alleged corruption of the DMK government together.
No, you answered yourself, alleged. I can allege anything. I can allege you of 100 things. I can allege Kovai Satyan of 100 things. You can allege me of 1,000 things. What does alleging mean? You came to power into 2014, BJP came to power under 2G. ADMK came in accusing us of 2G. 10 years BJP government were able to prove anything, nothing. So there is no corruption in this government. It's only the BJP that's involved in corruption. You are saying law and order problem, but I am saying based on your newspapers, the leading newspapers in the country, law and order in Tamil Nadu has improved. Debt to GDP ratio in Tamil Nadu has improved in the last 3 years. Industrial growth has improved. It's all from the union government data. I am not making it.
Okay. We'll get into poll issues later. Let's today talk about the alliance and its impact on ground. Kovai Satyan,
I can allege anyone of anything.
Kovai Satyan, you want to respond? DMK's spokesperson says younger brothers have lost their way and I don't know why you've fallen into the trap of the BJP again.
No, it's very clear. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, the Dravidian majors will call the shots. At one side it is DMK, the other side is AIADMK. The assembly elections, here the alliance is headed by our leader EPS, not by BJP. So in the national level, we call it as the NDA. That's the difference. We are ideologically poles apart. We have been very clear on that front. What matters is the welfare of the state and the welfare of the people. See, the dynasty in the realm of democracy is no good for the state. Karnanidhi, Stalin, Udaynidhi, this Parivarvad needs to be shown the door very soon for the welfare of the people. Already there is a very high level of anti-incumbency on the state. And the one myth which has been busted today is DMK were cheering aloud saying that AIADMK party is remained as an untouchable. Nobody is willing to take a call with them. And today their laugh is not long-lived, short-lived. And not only that, going forward, the parties who are in ally with DMK are about to drift from them. And the internal rift in the party between the brother and the sister will exuberate in days to come. So it not be a happy days for DMK. And definitely 2026, they know that they are on the losing streak. However brave face they may put across in the media, the reality on ground is different.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Let me give an opportunity to the BJP representative, Mr. Raman, as well to come in. Why is this alliance so important to you? And why was it necessary for you to do this? Because in the last elections, the Lok Sabha elections, for the first time the BJP's vote share jumped to double digits. And there was a whole thing about how the BJP wants to make inroads on its own, just like it cracked West Bengal, for example, Northeast, for example, they will do Tamil Nadu as well. One, did you come to the realization you can't do it despite the gains? And second, despite your ideological differences, why this necessity to join with the AIADMK?
Well, always an election is fought on two fronts. Number one is a larger purpose, and the second one is a long-term, short-term goals. Okay, the larger purpose is to defeat the anti-national, anti-people, anti-society, anti-Indians, anti-civilizational, anti-cultural.
Who's national?
Salim, just hold on. I'll give you an opportunity.
You are anti-national. You are anti-national. The whole world knows that you are anti-national. So, such a DMK must be defeated is a requirement. Tamil Nadu people are not anti-national, but the DMK is anti-national. You cobble together an alliance which is full of anti-social, anti-national elements, including anti-people, people like Ponmudi, who made a statement yesterday. You are shamelessly trying to defend the same person. Okay, just keep your mouth shut and allow me to hear.
Okay. One second. Let's not have a crosstalk. I would appreciate if all members of the panel, please just be careful about the words you use. And Salim, I'll give you an opportunity to respond, but please don't interrupt guests while they're speaking. Yes, Mr. Raman.
So now coming back to the alliance, there are two schools within BJP that we must go with the AIADMK and form an alliance to defeat the BJP, and there is another school which keeps saying that we must go out alone and to draw a larger vote share. So the immediate purpose is to defeat the anti-national DMK. That is why this alliance is a must. Now, if you look at numbers, the numbers are the basis on which the DMK keeps muttering about what they have been doing. Okay. Now, the difference between ADMK BJP alliance and the DMK alliance is just 6%, if you have to go by the numbers. 3% increase, or rather 3% decrease after 10 years of rule by ADMK is not a big deal. So was the case during the 2021 elections also. The ADMK was defeated with a relatively smaller margin, despite the fact that the ADMK BJP alliance was defeated with a very tiny margin. So today, after 4.5 years of ruling Tamil Nadu, they have developed a huge anti-incumbency. They are playing anti-national card. They are trying to mislead the society because they have been failing very badly. The drug mafias inside the DMK have been ruling the roost in Tamil Nadu. There is a huge law and order problem. There is TASMAC issue in a big way. There is a TASMAC scam. So they are failing very badly. In order to divert the attention, deflect the minds of people, they have been using so many things, including delimitation, etc. Now they are so scared that the ADMK and BJP are coming together. That is why they are trying to divert the attention now. So many new things to come up. They will be bringing up new issues, but they are going to fail drastically.
All right. So you are confident the numbers can definitely
they are going to be defeated in over 200 seats.
Okay. I want to bring in Aman and Sumant as well for a non-partisan view. Aman, why, again I ask you, why is this alliance so key for the BJP? Did they realize that they're not going to be able to crack Tamil Nadu alone?
Well, Shivani, I think Tamil Nadu has seen some fascinating developments in the last 3 months or so. If you go back just a month, you would have realized that maybe Mr. M.K. Stalin is having the lead here. You know, he's getting different states to come together on the issue of delimitation, on the issue of the NEP and the alleged Hindi imposition. He got multiple chief ministers to come to Chennai and form this front of sorts against the BJP. the DMK, has never been able to repeat power since 1972. It comes to power with a good margin, but it is not able to repeat power. So it always falls prey to anti-incumbency. The BJP also realized that Mr. Stalin, putting together his flock together this time, getting the regional parties to ally, was emerging as a strong force, that they don't want DMK to repeat power in Tamil Nadu at any cost. What was the reason for AIDMK to pull out of the BJP, in 2023? Number one, the main issue was Mr. K Annamalai, because he had said something uncharitable about AIDMK's top leader, especially Jai Jayalalitha, and that was the reason AIDMK pulled out. Even then, AIDMK had said that if you drop Mr. Annamalai, we will stay. BJP stayed with Mr. Annamalai, who had done this padyatra across the state, and to all his credit, BJP jumped to 11% vote share, though contesting separately, the BJP and the AIDMK both could not win any Lok Sabha seat. Right now, I think the BJP has stooped to conquer. They have let go of Mr. Annamalai from that post. They have brought Mr. Nagendran, who is not only of a different caste than Mr. EPS, he also comes from a different region. And he's been ex-AIDMK, so he understands the ethos and the sentiment of the AIDMK. So it's a very good fit. I don't think the AIDMK will have any problem with Mr. Nagendran, and that is why I think this joining of forces is very crucial. This gives BJP and AIDMK together a hold in nearly 2 to 3 big regions of Tamil Nadu. Together, they are a strong, formidable force, and I think that is the reason for them to come back together.
Well, you at least need a fighting chance, right? Together, they can have a fighting chance, and maybe alone they didn't. But very quickly on Annamalai, before I go to Sumant as well, Mr. Shah himself has tweeted about using Annamalai's organizational skills at the national level. This is a big hint coming in, not very usual as far as BJP hierarchy is concerned. Why do you think this tweet has come in?
Well, I think BJP really values Mr. Annamalai. All said and done, the man, has worked on the ground. He has gone to every part of the state on foot, and BJP values that. The Prime Minister has praised him, the Home Minister has praised him in the past. But I think the electoral compulsions now, because Mr. Annamalai and EPS, as I was saying, come from the same caste, the same region. There's a history of discord between the AIDMK and Annamalai. BJP has decided to, be more pragmatic. I'm sure Mr. Annamalai will get a very respectable position in the national BJP structure. Right. They may use his experience there and give Mr. Nagendran the chance to, mend the ties with the AIDMK, ensure it's a well-oiled alliance. And I think Mr. Annamalai has done his bit. And as I was saying, Mr. Prime Minister had repeatedly praised him even in an interview before the Lok Sabha elections. Right. I remember him saying that, this is the man who has joined the BJP for national interest, not his personal interest.
Right. Suman Raman, is DMK going to be worried with this alliance getting back together?
Most certainly, because you see, if this alliance had not happened, and I'm not yet saying that this is definitely going to be a winning alliance, we have to wait. There is still 10, 11 months more for the election. But if this alliance had not happened, then the election would have been a no contest, because there is no way that these two parties, or the NDA fighting separately and the AIDMK fighting separately, is like giving a walkover to the DMK alliance. Mind you, the DMK is not fighting it alone. The DMK is fighting with an alliance of 10 or 12 parties. So therefore, it is absolutely absurd on the part of AIDMK or the BJP to be able to take on these parties, take on the DMK alliance alone. So this is what they have done, is they have put in a minimum requirement to take on the DMK. Now, this automatically does not mean that they win, but if they can build on this, the PMK is another party that is likely to join them. PMK was part of the NDA even in the 2024 Lok Sabha election.
Yes.
There is also talk that a party called the NTK, which has about 8% vote share in 2024, could be roped into the alliance. Now, that also happens, then we are talking of serious trouble for the DMK combined, because mind you, the difference between the two parties in 2024 was 5%. If you take the two combined, if you combine the vote of the AIDMK and the BJP and the NDA in 2024 and compare it with the vote share of the DMK alliance, the DMK alliance came down by 7% between 2019 and 2024, the two Lok Sabha elections. So they were at 46. These people were, if you did add the vote share together, it was 41 something. And if you add the NTK vote share, then you are talking, of a combine that can potentially win the next election. Now, whether the NTK will join, we don't know at this point of time. That is not a done deal as yet. But already we are looking at a really formidable combination to take on the DMK. 5 years, remember, DMK has never, since 1973, the DMK has never won an election back to back.
Yeah.
They've never been re-elected to office. 89, they were in power, they lost 91. 96, they came to power, they lost 1. 2006, they came to power, and then they lost 2011, they lost 2016. Then they came back to power in 2021.
Right.
So they've never been re-elected since 1973.
Yeah, so this is a prestige matter. On one side to get re-elected, on the other side to not allow that to happen. Salim, I have just 20 seconds left. I am giving those 20 seconds to you. Please go ahead. 20 seconds.
No, I think we won the election, parliament election in 2019, clean sweep, except for one constituency. 2024 again clean sweep. Has it ever happened in 40 years, last 40 years? No, never. So to go and say it has never happened since 1973, so it won't happen in 2026, the process.
No, of course it can happen. It can happen. Anything
BJP
is possible.
And LTK will join hands together. It doesn't. No.
All right, I think we've lost that link. But I think he was hinting to the fact that just parties coming together doesn't automatically mean that the vote shares also combine. It's not a simple arithmetic. We leave it at that. Something tells us we will be discussing this a lot in coming days. Thanks a lot for watching Plain Speak. For now, The Right Stand is coming up next.
The United States is still imposing tariffs on China, and China is firmly opposed to such bullying. China will absolutely not accept pressure, threats and blackmail. That is not the right way to deal with China. If the US side really wants to talk, it should show an attitude of equality, respect and reciprocity. If the United States ignores the interests of the two countries and the international community and insists on fighting a tariff war and a trade war, China will certainly accompany it to the end.
We've seen the global markets going through quite a seesaw over Trump's tariff policies, and in particular policies or uncertainty in policies in relation to China. And now again, at a cabinet meeting at the White House on Thursday, we saw clearly contradictory statements emerge on China, hardly likely to be calming for the markets or bring clarity on what the US policy is. Trump, on the one hand, said a deal with China can be worked out.
And I'm sure that we'll be able to get along very well. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time. And I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries.
And within minutes, he was saying this.
What they've done to our country, they've destroyed our economic base to a large extent. The good news is we're very vibrant and we're going to get it back fast. We already have. Look, we're making $2 billion a day now.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio put it more sharply.
One of the most important things I believe you'll achieve in your presidency is reordering the world in a proper way. For 31 years, more than 31 years now, multiple administrations have allowed the Chinese to deindustrialize this country, to take away jobs and factories and pillars of our national strength. And what you're doing now, I think, is a great service to our country, but ultimately to the world.